So Thanksgiving's over, the family's gone, and now the age-old question, what do we do with all the food? This is Arizona. You got it. We're making Mexican food. Come on in.
Hi everybody. So like Ron said, we are going to be making Mexican food, but specifically stuffed poblanos, and they are awesome. Talk about delicious. Right now we're going to be making the enchilada sauce to go with them. We're actually making two kinds. We're going to make a green sauce and a red sauce. So we're going to start with the green sauce. Let's do it. We're going to start by putting about 2 tablespoons of butter into our skillet and melting it. All right, when our butter is just about melted, we're going to add about 1/3 of a cup of diced onions. Okay, partway through getting our onions done, we're going to go ahead and add about a clove of chopped garlic. All right, those are getting just pretty soft here. So I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of flour. We're going to make a roux. So while we're doing this, we're going to let our flour cook a little bit so it's not raw tasting. After that's cooked a little bit so the flour is not raw, we're going to go ahead and add 3/4 of a cup of water. Now I'm using water. You could use chicken broth, but I like to just add water, and then I go ahead and add about a teaspoon of chicken bouillon. I'm going to heat that up and get it to boiling. It'll start thickening. We're also going to add 1 can mild diced green chilies, and then just a little bit of salt to flavor a little bit. And really that's all there is to it. We're going to let that come to a boil. It's going to thicken up, and then we are going to use our immersion blender to chop it up a little bit so it's not quite so chunky. Perfect, that's great. Get on to making our red enchilada sauce, and believe me, this will be the best enchilada sauce you've ever had. It is awesome. We're going to start by putting about 1/4 cup of oil. Now you could use shortening, lard, anything like that. I just find oil easier. So we're going to add that in there, and then we're going to add about 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder. And we're going to let that cook for just a minute. All right, we've toasted our garlic. We're going to go ahead and add in about 6 tablespoons or so of flour, along with 2 tablespoons of chili powder. And we're going to get that toasted up a little bit, make that roux. Once it's toasted for a couple of minutes, we're going to add in 2 cups of water. I like to do my water first because as it splashes, it doesn't splash tomato juice all over me. I go ahead and use a whisk and whisk in the water. And we're going to add about, this can of tomato juice is about 11.5 ounces. We're just going to add it, the whole thing. We'll go ahead and just whisk that in. All right, along with that, we're going to add half a tablespoon of salt. We'll add about 1/4 teaspoon of vinegar. It's not very much, but believe me, it's an important part of it. We are also going to add about 3/4 teaspoon of sugar and a dash, just the smallest dash of cinnamon. Cinnamon will overpower it really fast, so it's very important you just do the smallest dash. You need that flavor, but not too much. And we're just going to let that come to a boil and thicken up. You can add another cup of water if it's getting too thick or if you like a thinner sauce. For now, I'm not going to add it. We're going to wait until it thickens up and then see if we need it. At this point, I'm going to call this done after I taste it and make sure our flavors are good, but I'm not going to add the extra water. If I was going to make a rolled enchilada that I was going to bake, I would go ahead and add it because I would want it thinner, but because of what we're making with our stuffed poblanos, I'm going to go ahead and leave it thicker. Perfect. That's as good as any restaurant you'll ever go to, and probably even better. I promise it's the best enchilada sauce you've ever had. Our next step is to take the roasted poblanos that we previously roasted and been sitting in the plastic bag steaming. We're going to take them and get the seeds out. Now we want to leave the stem on. Our peppers have been roasting or steaming for a little while. They're cooled off now. We're going to take this and we're just going to make a little slit. I'm going to do it right down this edge here. And we want to open it up as little as possible, so I'm going to take a spoon and actually spoon out till we think we've got most of those out. All right. We roasted these until they were soft, they were flexible, but they still had body to them. All right, we'll get these rinsed and we're ready for the next step.
We're going to make the stuffing and we're going to shred some turkey. I like to use Knorr brand chicken bouillon. It's a powder. Great stuff. I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to, that's probably a lot. Flavor it a little bit. I'm going to use just a smidgen cream of chicken soup. I'm going to add a small amount of sour cream. We're going to mix. Add a small amount of water just to get rid of some of the dryness of the turkey. Add a small amount of pepper jack cheese, a little bit of spice, but not hot. Okay, official taste test. Doesn't get much better than that.
So I'm just going to take the peppers and just kind of pat them dry so that we don't have all that extra moisture on the outside of our peppers. When we stuff the peppers, we don't want to put too much in there. We want to fill them up, but not put a lot in there. We want them to be able to close. So we're going to find the slit that we made in our pepper, and we're going to fill it. And yes, you have to get your fingers in there sometimes. We're working it around in there, but we're just about to have enough in there. So it's stuffed. You can see that it's full, but it still closes there where we had our little slit. We're getting ready to bread our poblanos. We're going to be rolling them in flour and then an egg mixture or egg wash, whatever you want to call it, and then breadcrumbs. So to make our egg mixture, we're going to just use a couple of eggs. Maybe we'll get that open. We're going to add a little bit of milk, not too much, just some. There's not a set amount. And we're just going to whisk those up. All right. And that's ready to go. Okay, so we'll take the poblano. We're going to make sure it's coated very well with our flour. The flour is going to help the breadcrumbs to stick and stay on. Shake off extra flour, and we will roll it in our egg mixture, making sure it's coated completely with the egg mixture. Your hands get dirty, it is what it is. And then we're going to put it in our breadcrumbs, making sure we coat it well. And that one is ready to fry. We've got our oil heated up to about 375 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and lower the baskets in. The reason I'm not putting the poblano peppers in the baskets first is I don't want them to stick to the baskets. So I'm going to lower them so it's easy to get them out. But I'm going to take my peppers and I'm going to very carefully start putting them in. Look how beautiful.
Now we don't show it on camera, but as soon as we cover it with cheese, we melt the cheese. I know, living dangerously. Ladies first, tell me what you think.
Okay.
This is dangerous. Woo. What do you think?
Delicious.
Get out of town. This is a home run. I'll put that against any restaurant. Any day, anytime, anywhere. That is the bomb. Okay. Now, Glenn just had the stuffed poblano. Tell me what you think.
This is off the hook, one of the best ones I've ever had. The sauce, woo! Man, you guys nailed this when you've done this. It's good. It's perfect.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you next time on
Squeak. Thanks for watching. Okay.
All right. So we're going to start by putting a couple of tablespoons of butter in our hot skillet. Ooh, it's hot too.
Should have blown the smoke on.
Well, we wanted to get it hot. We got it hot and it's burning our butter. We're gonna have to start that over. Take two.
I wonder if that's even still in the picture. Maybe we could just super glue it to the fork next time.
It's not super crunchy.
I'm having top weather tonight. We're having a lot of gusts from the south.
Gust of gravity.
Gust of gravity. Try to be serious. Squeak.